So what's up, guys? This is Chris with Half Chrome. Today we are recording from the inside of my Mustang Mach-E. So I bought this thing a few months ago. I bought it with 6,000 miles. I'm up to 10K now, so I've put my time in, and I think it's time to do a little bit of a review. Like usual, we do things a little different here at Half Chrome. Found some videos online about this car, looking up certain features. People don't like to talk about the negatives, so that's why we're here. We're going to mention some of the downsides of this vehicle. Now, by no means am I getting rid of my Mach-E. I do really like this car. Huge upgrade to what I used to drive, and there's a lot of good reasons why I bought it. I mean, it's super cool. I got the GT version because it's quick, midlife crisis kind of issues here. Want to be able to go fast, have fun, and it has a lot of standard features included, like the sunroof, this infinity roof thing that's really cool. Yeah, a lot, and it's really fast. I mean, at the end of the day, this car is a lot of fun. So in this review, of course, it's going to be impossible not to mention the Tesla here and there. I did want an EV. I can charge for free at work, so I don't pay anything for fuel anymore. Which is, saving me $100 a month easy. So some obvious comparisons in terms of range, size, and auto driving features, right? I think they started charging like $10,000 extra to have access to the full autonomous mode. So the Mach-E does not come with the full autonomous mode, but basically on the highway, you can, when you turn on cruise control, it will automatically offer to turn on a self-driving mode where it stops checking to see if your hands are on the wheels. Works pretty well. It'll give you lots of notifications if it's getting, maybe the lanes aren't marked super well, if it kind of has to cancel the mode. If you turn on the blinker, it'll actually change lanes for you. So there is some amount of self-driving, which I think is fine for today's technology. It's perfectly adequate, and I would say up to par with what's kind of on the market today if you don't want to spend $10,000 extra. So before I jump into all of the things that I think this car could have improved, a couple things I want to mention. I do mention several products throughout this video. I have upgraded the Mach-E quite a bit, just little things. I got the floor mats, I got the knockoff version, as my son would say, the dupes of the WeatherTech. They work really, really well. A couple other things I've added: a cell phone charger down here that works a lot better than the one that the car came with, and I will need to be upgrading these tires here soon. It came with some tires that had some dry rot. I'll put it in the description below, so find links to all the stuff I'm going to talk about today in that description. Now let's get into the pluses and minuses of this vehicle as I sit at the world's longest red light here. So one thing I want to start with is just kind of bugs. So these are very complicated systems now. If you've gotten a new car in the last 10 years, you probably have bugs in your car as well. I think it's worth mentioning because they're annoying, they bug you, and it's not clear to me why they can't fix these bugs more quickly and easily the way these things are all connected to the internet now. And I'll get to that at the end with a little more detail, but some of the bugs I have seen so far included, like, you can change the color of the lighting of the vehicle, which is really cool, but that doesn't stick. It just keeps changing back to red for unknown reasons. The rear view mirrors close when you lock the car, and when you walk up to it then at night, it'll flash some little cool horses, some Mustangs on the ground. It'll light that up. Sometimes it doesn't come on, no rhyme or particular reason. When you want to show someone how cool it is, that's an issue when it doesn't work. All right, so this is a silly one. This is the remote control that comes with the car. It's got your normal stuff, opening the trunk, unlocking the car. The range on it is pathetic. It should have a remote start button on it. Of course, you can do that with the app, but why not also in the remote? And it should be able to work modern standards, I don't know, quarter mile, half mile away in my opinion, and it's the worst remote I've ever owned. So minor point, let's keep going. So the next one up, this car comes with this single dial. So very light on the controls, which is kind of how they're doing cars these days, but it's just a pain. I want to be able to change my fan speed and my volume. Those are the two things I want to be able to get to. I don't see why I can't have two knobs for that, or that I couldn't quickly access. You can push this knob in. How much sense would it make if when I pushed that, it changed to fan speed, and when I pushed it again, it changed back to volume? That would literally solve this problem. I do have volume controls on the steering wheel here, but that's what it's defaulted to here as well. So maybe this should be the fan by default. That might actually make more sense. So this aspect of the controls is definitely suboptimal. With all this fancy stuff you can do in the cars today, you want the most basic things to be easy to get to. And for me, that's an issue. Speaking of getting to things easily, this car does have voice commands, which you can find a video online of some guy gingerly describing all of its features, which are extremely limited. So what I can do with voice commands is I can turn on a radio station. I can even give it a number. I can change the temperature of the air conditioning system. However, it's basically useless. I have to get into the air conditioning system through the menu if I want to change anything else, like fan speed or recirculate air when I see some horrible diesel truck in front of me and I don't want to smell it. If I want to turn on the heated seats, if I want to, go back to listening to my podcast, it really is unbelievably limited, and it really defeats the whole purpose. All right, so this one might seem like a minor point, but if you're going to include a feature in a car, you should do it the right way. There is a built-in charging pad here, not on this side, but on the other side. And functionally, it did not work. Your phone slides around. It needs to be in exactly one place for it to function, so you just go over a little bump and suddenly it stops working. It's useless. Why have something that useless? So I went on to Amazon actually, and I bought this low-cost charger. This will charge. This is really meant for your nightstand. It'll charge your phone. Will charge an Apple Watch and charge AirPods. It isn't really designed for a card, so for a vehicle. So for the for the AirPods, I actually designed a little 3D printed holder to keep them from sliding off there. The watch stays on nicely, and I can charge all three things here, and it really has a nice strong magnetic grab to the phone. So this is all fixed, this is all stable, and problem solved. I'll put a link in the description to that. Now, it obviously does not come with these stickers. I could not stand looking at the random Chinese brand, whatever it is, logos that were on there. So I printed my own logos. I'll also put a link to that printer paper that I used in the description. I got the matte version and a gloss version, depending where I was sticking stickers. So let's talk about the driving modes this vehicle has. They are pretty good and varied. However, I wish we could have some different features. Let me show you what that looks like. It is nice that they're accessible right here with one press up there on the settings button. And from there, you can see I'm in whisper mode right now. There's engage and unbridled. Each one offers an increasing amount of braking, so automatic braking. And then in any of the modes, you can turn on one pedal drive. Now for me, my favorite mode is unbridled in terms of the braking that it provides. Just a very subtle amount. I'm using it right now. I took my foot off the accelerator pedal, and it's not nearly as aggressive as the one pedal drive. I don't actually like it, and I've seen in some forums that people talk about unbridled mode as providing them a significant noticeable improvement in their range. So meaning that little extra of automatic recharging when they're not paying attention, they ease up on the gas. That's actually getting them more range, and it is my preferred mode. However, what that does is it really stiffens up the steering wheel. So there's a motor in here, and it stiffens that all up, and my actual preference there is whisper mode. So I like the whisper mode for this little bit softer suspension. It's got, in the GT, we have the magnetic suspension and the softer feel to the steering wheel. It's better for my carpal tunnel here on my right hand as well. But I like the unbridled mode, so why not just put all these things in different settings? It would be really nice that you could save your own custom mode maybe, and have the preferred driving experience for all of the car's features. So next up is the amount of interior space in this vehicle. I've always driven a sedan, so I'm replacing my 2007 Camry with this 2023 Mustang Mach-E, and it looks like a bigger vehicle. It's technically a crossover, so you might expect to have a little more interior space. Now, while I'm fine with the amount here, the trunk space is fairly limited. You would expect more when you're driving something that almost looks like an SUV. And so with all the batteries, and I think that the battery technology used by Ford isn't necessarily the most space efficient one, and there really just isn't that much space for stuff in here. It's about the same as a regular sedan, but it looks like a crossover. So let's talk about the trunk and the frunk. So some big issues. The trunk is really a problem for me. There's no button in here to open the trunk. I have to actually go to the settings menu, which makes zero sense, and hit the trunk or the frunk button. But really, just to get to the trunk in any way, shape, or form, you have to do that, or use the remote, or walk back there. My old 2007 Camry had a lever right down here. There is a lever for the frunk by my left leg, but nothing for the trunk. So whether the car is, I usually turn off the car and then realize I want to open it, and the only way to do that is walk back there or use the remote. That's just silly. The frunk is also a little strange. It's a double pull, or it's on the Bluetooth menu, I believe, of the phone app. So just a little bit strange how you get into the car through the trunk and the frunk, but especially not having a button in here for the trunk is an issue. I know some people have hot-wired this parking assist button, which is otherwise pretty useless feature that was actually kind of never put in the Mustang Mach-E, and have hot-wired that to be a trunk button. I'm not going to tear apart my car. I don't care that much. It really should just be there. There's really no going back on that. They didn't include it, so unless they want to come hotwire my car as an upgrade, it's going to stay the way it is. So getting down to the top two now, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the phone app. And it is definitely an upgrade from my 2007, which of course didn't have an app. But, we all have friends with Teslas. We know what should be possible, the state of technology today, and it's just very limited what it can do. Charging your car, you can't set the limit at any specific time. It's based on location. So you plug in your car, then you unplug it, and you plug it in again, it will register where you are. Then you can set what you want your charge limit to be, which would otherwise be 100%. It just seems like you should be able to just really easily get there and say, I want to be 100% right now. But you'd have to permanently change that for that location and then change it back later. This is not ideal for obvious reasons. All right, so number one by far is the lack of updates we're getting. This is 2025 when we're recording this. There is no reason why probably 80% of the things I've talked about today could not be fixed after the fact. Why can't the app get better? Why can't I change the temperature of my vehicle remotely? Whatever else, the bugs that I talked about at the beginning of this video, why can't they get fixed all remotely? Is nobody talking about these? Does anybody at Ford drive this car and experience the same things as me? Are they just holding off on fixing these things, hoping someone will buy a new one? Well, I think for customer satisfaction, and if they want me to be a repeat buyer, I would keep fixing these things. People know that is what Tesla does. The car keeps getting better, and this one gets better extremely slowly. As of right now, there is a recall on this vehicle where if the 12-volt battery dies, people can get locked in the car and not be able to get out. That's why I had to buy a window smashing hammer, okay? Now they say there's a recall and there's no software fix. Like, why not? How hard is it? I mean, I'm sorry, but software isn't that hard. I mean, has Google and AI companies literally hired every competent software engineer in the world? This is an issue, and all the bugs, all the features that could be fixed, it just happens way too slowly with Ford, and I don't get it. Ford, if you're listening, I hope you are. I hope the title and thumbnail of this video captures someone's attention. Please hire a software engineer and just fix these things. It's that easy, and that's why it's the number one, is just how frustrating it is, how much better this car could get if someone was paying attention. And they haven't really changed this vehicle much since when it first came out. You've had time. You've had plenty of time. So Ford, please let's fix some of these things. So that's my top 10 least favorite things of the Ford Mustang Mach-E. I'm not getting rid of it. I'm always fingers crossed this thing keeps performing the way it is now, which is it's a lot of fun to drive. It's super fast, super quick. It's just a lot of fun, and it's nice to look at, and it's got the giant sunroof, and I'm enjoying it. So if you want to see a video about some of the more positive features, just drop us a note down there in the comments. Maybe we'll make another video about the Mustang Mach-E. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this, and come back to Half Chrome, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.